You'll get 5 minutes.
Take your word for it. But you'll appreciate we might want actual evidence.
I would be happy to provide that, and I'd also be happy to inform Chairman that actually we have a letter of which you can sign on to. I know you like to sign on to letters with us, especially on the Epstein stuff. But we actually have a letter going out to Neville Singham on Friday, and it's actually signed by every single member of Oversight. I'd like to extend that to you because that letter is calling him to testify, and it's also calling for his financial transactions.
Did you just see that? That wasn't a hearing, that was a political mugging in broad daylight. Tim Walz walked in expecting softballs and left looking like he got hit with a sledgehammer made of receipts, bank trails, and CCP connections. While Democrats were rolling their eyes and playing dumb, Representative Paulina Luna was out here connecting riots to communist money like a forensic accountant on Red Bull. This wasn't about vibes. This was about foreign influence, radical funding, and straight-up incompetence. If that opening didn't make your jaw drop, buckle up, smash like, subscribe, and stay right here. Let's watch the full clip before I give you my full breakdown.
First and foremost, I would like to take this opportunity to educate the American people on what's really happening right now with these riots. So I see right now there's a lot of back and forth and finger pointing, but the fact is that there is a financial tie to these riots, tied to immigration, that actually leads right back to the Communist Chinese Party. Straight up, the LA riots have been organized by an organization dubbed PSL, the Party for Socialism and Liberation, funded by billionaire Chinese activist Neville Singham, who spends part of his year by living in Shanghai. In addition to that, although he is not a registered foreign agent, he accepts a lot of money from the CCP and then turns around and funnels it right into some of these violent protests that we're seeing. But it doesn't just stop there. This is not the only organized protest that's using brown people and immigrants as a ruse to push their communist and Marxist agenda. Mr. Walz, thank you for coming in today to testify, or Mr. Walz. Real quick, is it true, yes or no, that you are speaking at the June 14th Twin Cities No King rally?
I can't confirm that right now.
Okay.
That could be true.
Okay. Just so you know, they're advertising you speaking there.
Okay.
The graphic's actually on X right now. I'd be happy to provide it for you, so I'll take that as probably speaking. Is it true also, I know on your campaign, that you had admitted to visiting China anywhere from 15 to 30 times, sir? Yes or no, please?
I did live in China. And
No, visiting, sir, in addition to living there and in addition to having,
that's correct.
All right. Also, too, I'd like to note that during your time in Congress that you filed for a $5 million earmark that actually was secured. $2 million of it went to the Harmel Institute that actually collaborated with the Wuhan Institute. Also, the Department of Homeland Security, sir, just to you, so that you're tracking, actually had an internal memo that was released that stated that the government of China considered you a prime target for influence operations. I'm letting you know that now because I do believe that you should be made aware of, if you are not already, that you are working with and going to be speaking at an organization and rally that not is just funded by Christy Walton, the heiress of Walmart, but also has ties to the Chinese Progressive Association, largely funding it, that actually brags on their website that they are pro-Maoist. Also, too, funded by the National Endowment for Democracy. I know there's a lot of people on this committee that don't like billionaires interfering in politics, but say nothing when George Soros gets over $260 million from USAID through the last administration that's then funneled into some of these nonprofits and organizations. So I guess my question for you guys is, now that I've made you aware that these riots are not about illegals and they're not about immigrants, if they did, they would have been protesting under Barack Obama, who's also dubbed the deporter-in-chief. And frankly, I think many of you would say that Barack Obama was a good president. Are you going to say that Barack Obama wasn't a good president? Yes or no, Governor Walz? Do you think he was a good president?
Do I think Barack Obama was a good president? I think he did a good job.
Okay, how about you, Governor Pritzker?
I think he did a good job, yes.
Hochul?
Hochul, and yes, he did do a good job.
Okay, next. Perryman?
I think President Obama did a good job.
So then you would understand that Barack Obama had the very same policies, for the most part, on immigration that Republicans are parroting today, and yet you guys are sitting here saying that we're Gestapo. And what I would tell you is that what happens with open borders is that the real people that are coming here, the ones that are exploited, actually it hurts people on both sides, not just Americans, but the illegals. Some of you had said here to the actual committee that you are doing what you can to assist these people, but what I would say is that your policies aren't actually done from a place of understanding and sympathy. I would say that it's actually actually doing the exact opposite. And when you use brown people, just like they use black people with BLM and Marxists during BLM to usher that in, when you use brown people and you put Mexican flags with them saying that you stand up for illegal immigrants, but you follow the money and it's going back to the Communist Party, what you're essentially doing is using your platform as elected officials, the trust that the American people have put in you, essentially to usher in communism. You're not actually fighting for American values. Don't roll your eyes, because it's a serious topic and that's where the money's coming from. So now I'm informing you, so now you guys can make your decisions, but please be informed, sir, Mr. Walz, that if you truly do uphold the American ideologies and perspectives on the Constitution, you should not be speaking at that rally. I've given you the correct information, and as of right now, I've authorized a letter to be sent to my office to the President of the United States to rescind millions of dollars in funding that we know are going to the No Kings protests that were authorized and basically given under the last administration. That is what Congress is supposed to do, not point fingers, not blame people, but actually ensure that the American people are protected and not fighting for foreign interests, foreign governments, and also the communist.
Will the gentlelady yield for a question?
No.
You don't want to tell us what your evidence is of all this connections?
Actually, no, I will yield.
You know,
that.
I appreciate
Mr. Goldman, you'll get 5 minutes.
Take your word for it. But you'll appreciate we might want actual evidence.
I would be happy to provide that, and I'd also be happy to inform Chairman that actually we have a letter of which you can sign on to. I know you like to sign on to letters with us, especially on the Epstein stuff. But we actually have a letter going out to Neville Singham on Friday, and it's actually signed by every single member of Oversight. I'd like to extend that to you because that letter is calling him to testify, and it's also calling for his financial transactions. And do you agree, sir, that we should not be accepting money from the Communist Chinese Party? I think anyone on this platform would agree that that should not be accepted, correct?
I would like for you to actually present evidence rather than just, quote, inform the witnesses, and now that they're informed, they should assume that
I
what
don't
you
disrespect
say is
you. I'm
true
going to answer your question. We are having a hearing on it where we can present all the evidence.
Order.
No, but let's have this dialogue.
Yeah, go ahead. You're recognized, Ms. Luna.
We are going to be having a hearing, and you can gavel on to the hearing. I'd appreciate you to do it, because the fact is that the Democrat Party, remember,
is it going to be as good as the Biden impeachment hearing?
Mr. Goldman, you'll have 5 minutes in a moment.
Let's focus real quick.
Well, Mr. Chairman, she's out of time. I just think they're trying not to let me talk.
Guys, if you guys want to talk about it, I'll answer the question. But Mr. Singham is also funding Code Pink through his wife.
You know, it's my turn.
Can we ask Elon to divest from China while we're at it?
The lady's time's expired. The lady's time's expired.
We'll be having the hearing. Y'all are invited.
That was an absolute demolition. Anna Paulina Luna didn't just win that exchange. She exposed a rot in real time. Tim Walz didn't look confused. He looked caught. She asked him a yes or no question about speaking at a rally, and he responded like a guy trying to remember if he left the stove on. That could be true. You're the governor of a state, not a Craigslist roommate. You don't know where you're speaking? Either he's shockingly incompetent or he knows exactly who he's aligned with and hoped nobody would notice. Spoiler. Somebody noticed. And then came the receipts. Neville Singham, Shanghai, CCP ties, radical protest funding. DHS labeling Walz a prime influence target. That's not conspiracy theory territory, that's government memo territory. When the Department of Homeland Security is worried about a sitting governor being targeted by China, and that same governor is shrugging it off like it's a parking ticket, that's not normal. That's alarming. The funniest part? The eye rolls. Luna literally had to say, "Don't roll your eyes." That's the tell. That's what career politicians do when they get uncomfortable. Dismiss, deflect, act bored, because they're not used to someone showing up with a spreadsheet instead of a script. And that Obama trap? Surgical. She got every Democrat on that panel to praise Obama's immigration policies, then reminded them those policies are the same ones they're calling Gestapo today. That's not hypocrisy. That's ideological whiplash. They want open borders when it helps their donors, strict borders when it helps their polling, and moral outrage when it helps their narrative. Then Dan Goldman tried to jump in and save Walz like a lifeguard rescuing a drowning spin job. Luna shut him down cold. No narrative rescue. No PR cleanup. Facts on the record, period.